The universe is an incredibly multidimensional, multi-layered, complex prospect. Many scientists are pointing that out in their own terms. Many mystics have always known it. We find it a very exciting time to be working with the human ones on this earth. It is a thrill for us because we are meeting so many people who have a much deeper understanding of what makes reality tick than many cultures ever really approach. We like the scientific language and the expansion of ideas, of the objectivity that has come from that. We like the diversity of religion on the earth and the philosophical shopping that so many people do, comparing ideas and having access to the information of what has been believed in various religions and various cultures for millennia here, as well as archaeological information from digs and a lot of the dream work people are doing, the astral traveling people are doing, etc. We're speaking through this body, through this channeler, Kathy, and she is very much aware. She's a conscious channeler. But we find it very interesting to be looking at a metal object with a lens as we speak, and knowing behind that metal object are millions of you for whom we have been speaking to you in your hearts already, and have been luring you to see this video. And it's strange, but this is our first try at channeling through Kathy into this little machine. We find it rather interesting because it's really quite a nice symbol to have kind of a focus, a hole of light that we can transmit, hopefully, our energies into, that will pop out the other end into your video machine, whatever device you use. It's very concrete, very 3D. We're really enjoying this already, we can tell. Forgive us if we look right into your eyes through this lens. We find you rather interesting to look at from a distance, so to speak. It is as though we can sense how you are feeling as you look at us. Through what? Not this lens here, but this woman's body, through this woman's voice and mouth. We look at each other in very odd apparatuses, both of us. As we were saying, we're very happy that the richness of the cultures of the earth and the philosophies of the earth are at your fingertips. And yet what we bring is not a philosophy. Oh, well, you could call it that, but it's not primarily what we are offering to anyone who is so dearly loved and that we have wanted so eagerly to be able to reach more directly than we have through this contraption. We are saying, if you can kind of ignore the form we're coming in and speaking to you through, that we are the beings that helped to provide incarnational matrix for you to come into the form, for you to come be created, and for you to further create your own life, co-create your own life with nature. You are both the created and the creator. There has always been a partnership. You are both so-called God, and yet you are also God's creature. And both are important. We slip in between the cracks of the distinction between being all that is, being one with the whole, and being your individual selfhood, creating your life. We facilitated your coming into being in the form you're in, and we also help to facilitate what you do with it. Nature provides the matrix for all things in form, and we are nature beings, essentially. At this time, many of you have been created with certain life purposes in mind. And for many of you, a lot of that life purpose involved coming in a very exciting time, to a planet where lots of ethical and moralistic issues were at play. That's been largely a big drama going on, especially as concerns the Earth, as concerns electromagnetics and the degree of mind control and the ability of them to cut people off from the soul level. Lots of drama around that. Lots of drama around hierarchy, around some people having much, some people starving to death. A lot of drama around control in government that is claiming to be democratic. You know, the big issues of your day, the poisoning of the environment, the struggling of many people to cope with your ascent into the fourth dimensional focus that many people are feeling, where thoughts are so real and it's very hard to find privacy. It's very hard to screen out so much, both media, physical media, but also psychic and psychological media that wants to grab your attention, that some people call this the age of entities, where it's not enough to deal with microbes in the petri dish or in the body. You're dealing with parasites of the higher dimensional kind in subtle entities, in mass swarms, which often parallel what's going on in your physical media, in your I call it we'll call it physical media, even if it comes through television and it's very rather fine frequency, airwave frequencies that the media uses. Now, within all that, some of you were born to bring a great deal of spiritual light, and we'll define that as not light at a certain frequency that can be measured, but a knowingness of home, a knowingness of not forgetting that you're part of the whole. And many of you have found yourselves now on a parallel version of Earth that has decided that you are not needed, that the going thing here is going to be continuing exploration of destruction and darkness. And maybe darkness isn't the word. Darkness has a richness too, but of destructiveness, of moral ambiguity, of the kinds of problems feeling yourselves to be very separate from each other cause. So if you came to bring hope to the world and to help turn things around, and you find yourself now in a culture, in a worldwide community where you can't fully bloom and exercise your gifts and do what you came to do, we, as the beings that help to bring you into your own unique individuality, who helped you choose your mother and your father and your whole life script, as far as what was needed and why you were created, the void that you were created to fill in this great interlocking of personalities and people on Earth and nature beings and ETs in the whole cacophony. What if your job has really is a little bit obsolete on this particular parallel Earth? Now, when we speak of parallel Earths, what we're referring to is how you are born, and some of you almost immediately decide to try things several ways. So a part of you, you may be born in Kansas, as Kathy was, and to certain parents, and you for instance might find your parents divorcing, and one is moving out of state, and which one do you end up living with? You may actually decide to explore both possibilities, and one version of you moves to Minnesota with your dad, and another version of you may stay in Kansas with your mother. And those two versions are living out quite different realities, different school systems, different friends, and yet at some point they may blend back together and get closer, and there's a lot of bleed through of what gifts and what learnings and what fulfillment each version has felt and can bring to your central purpose and life script, which is not a static thing. Life scripts change quite a bit. We have found that there are people now, and we are hoping through this video to reach you, and we're hoping that you are one of these people who have enough sense that their sense of selfhood is something cosmic, something where you are constantly being created as well as helping to create your selfhood. And it's a very fluid thing. And so if you wish, you can work with some of the forces of creation that help to bring you into being, and help to bring you into being continually, really, in a myriad of choices and decisions. We are those beings. And we are telling you that many of you are now on the wrong ship. Many of you are on a sinking ship culturally, where your gifts will not be used, your hopes and dreams will not be realized. And as those who undergird parallel leaping, going and choosing to live with the other parent, for instance, or choosing to live now in a culture that will honor you and that is moving towards caring about everyone and everyone's gifts, or a culture, you all have different dreams of where you'd like to end up, or living in a culture that values creativity and the arts, or living in a culture, worldwide system where nobody starves, where maybe money doesn't even exist, there's some other form of exchange, or where it's as normal to speak telepathically as it is to speak to each other through one of these little metal devices like we have here. We would invite you to work with us.